What do you make of this hit job, Bev?
Well, I don't subscribe to the Times because it's behind a paywall, and it kind of, as much as I used to think it had fantastic journalism, but as the last 2.5 years has taught all of us, you don't know what to believe anymore. And so the writers that I previously adored, that I would subscribe to the Times for, I now find what they write baffling and inaccurate. So somebody pointed it out to me. And it kind of took me by surprise. I felt like I'd stepped in a time machine, because from where I'm sitting, it's a ridiculous phrase to use now without at least clarifying what you mean by anti-vaxxer. It's such a reductive phrase. And also the fact that they were using it, and the tone of that piece was so abhorrent, because this was simply a group of people. I was there at the all-party parliamentary group discussion about this. And this is just a group of people who are patently not what you would describe as anti-vaxxers, because they, or the loved ones that they lost, received the injections with the best of intentions, as so many millions of people did. And they were the very unfortunate ones who had awful, life-ending, in some cases, paralyzing in others, reactions. So to write a piece about their desire to what were they trying to do? All they're trying to do is to get some answers. All they're trying to do is to have a group of people in positions of authority with more power than them to sit down and say, what did we do? Did we do this right? Should we be continuing to roll these jabs out now indiscriminately to all age groups? That's all they want, Mark. They're not asking for anything else. They need financial support as well, as you well know. So for the Times to write this horrible hit piece was one of the most callous pieces of journalism I've seen in a long time. And in the last 2 years, we have seen a lot.
No, that's true. What I didn't get about it was that there's no recognition that this story has changed. Just in the last day or two, the Finnish government says it's not going to administer this new bivalent jab, or whatever they call it, because they think they've looked at it and they think it's garbage. It's not 2020 anymore. Even Andrew Neil, you know, Big Butch Andrew Neil, is deleting his tweets because he realises the story has changed. How come Mr. Murdoch's chums don't recognise that?
I don't know. And I've often looked at the pieces that have been written in the media and reported on other channels other than GBNews in the last 2.5 years. And I want to ask that question, why? And I've almost given up asking why anymore, because sometimes I think it is not that there is a great collusion of silence at these newspapers. I think on some occasions, and I wonder, I mean, maybe it's just the optimist in me, but I wonder whether this George Grills, who was the young journalist who wrote this piece, was just lazy, just didn't bother doing his research, just read a transcript. Because in fact, with Andrew Bridgen, who said that some of these people had provably had COVID, George Grills quoted him as probably had COVID. Now, that's just because he's read a B as a V, or, you know, the other way around. So in some ways, I wonder whether it is deliberate. And they have amended the article. I have to say, they have now changed it so that probably had COVID reads provably had COVID. But I'm still a celebrity anti-vaxxer. But to be honest, if that means, if that title means that I will stick up for people, that I will challenge these ridiculous non-scientific messages, then I will wear that badge with pride, frankly, at this stage in the proceedings. I used to find it quite offensive, but now I'm like, well, bring it on, because there are so many questions that we have to answer, and we want those answers.